This isn't Kellogg. It's a building that's off Main Street in McKinley.
Okay, guys, don't go down here. Don't go down.
This isn't Kellogg. It's a building that's off Main Street in McKinley.
Okay, guys, don't go down here. Don't go down.
Good afternoon, KW Whale Facebook followers. I'm John Webb, live in Kellogg, Uptown Kellogg. I believe I'm on the intersection of Main and McKinley Avenue, where crews have been responding to fire in the Connel Hotel. Currently, Shoshone County Fire District Number 2 is responding to the fire. Shoshone County Sheriff's Office, the Kellogg Police Department, and we don't know if anybody is inside the hotel as they speak right now, but crews are just responding. I know I was just in Smelterville where Shoshone County Fire District Number 2 responded to a fire at the Sands Motel. It was a trailer fire, semi-trailer. I guess Nickerson Towing was taking the refrigerator unit off the front of it and accidentally caught fire. So it's been a busy day for Shoshone County Fire County 2. For those of you just joined us, there is a fire at the Connel Hotel that is at the intersection of McKinley and Main Street in Uptown Kellogg. Currently, the Shoshone County Fire District Number 2 is responding. Shoshone County Sheriff's Office, Kellogg Police Department. We don't know if anybody is in the fire or in the hotel, excuse me. But we're working to find more. As you can see, big flames coming off the top of the building. Lots of smoke. Fire crew is just arriving to scene. If you are in the area, the police department is asking people to stay away. Just keep off McKinley Avenue and Main Street as best as you can. They're working to put fire. You can feel the heat all the way to here. Local witnesses here. Putting water out there, if you can see that. Fire crews are squirting water. Kellogg Police Department over here, asking people to stay away. Whew. It's hot. For people just join us, I am live in Uptown Kellogg on the intersection of McKinley and Main, where the Shoshone County Fire District Number 2 is responding to a fire at the McConnell Hotel. We don't know if anybody's inside.
Mountainside on the other side is on fire.
It is.
The trees and shit.
The trees are.
You might want to run over there and grab that video if you want to sneak up there with me.
Okay, let's go. Of course, I'll have a full update on Facebook and on air. Just to your radio to AM 620.
That is, oof. That is hot. What is that hotel called? McKinley Hotel?
Yeah. Oh, that's what's burning. Yeah.
My God, it's so hot too.
Yeah, you can feel it. Either that or the sun is extremely hot.
Dear God. I was waiting for you out here because Rose was like, come on, come on. I was like, I'm waiting for Dawn.
I didn't realize that. I didn't, because it's not on the block or attached, that I had to.
Well, Rose was like, she came out and she was like, call 911. And I thought an accident had happened. I was like, what happened? She goes, come look. I was like, oh my God.
Before anybody's calling me.
Right, yeah. Well, dispatch said they were getting someone out here, so I think they knew about it.
That's good, because it's like, man, when I came out, it was really on fire.
Dear God. This is just right up the street from North Idaho College. Rose needs to cancel class for tonight. Whew. And it's hot. Lord of mercy.
Is it actually connected to other buildings on the other side?
On the other side, I think so.
Well, the flames are so big, I can't imagine that it's in it.
Yeah. Whew, God almighty, it's hot. Yeah, that heat's bad. Well, if your place is messed up, if it gets, I hope to God it didn't get down that far, then let me know and you can come over to stay with me. Or stay at the hotel, or, you know, whatever you need to do. Whew. Well, they got one area out. There's one window out.
That's good.
Oh my God, it's bad hot. I gotta back up.
So I can imagine that it's like, you know.
I know. Whew. Lordy.
That's insane.
It is. Wonder what caused it to catch on fire, if it's abandoned.
I highly doubt anybody will ever know.
Oh, God, it's hot. Oh, sorry.
The entire thing is in flames. What?
It is. It's hot.
I've never seen a fire like this.
They got all fire stations coming. This is just right down the street from where I work at North Idaho College. It's a hotel that was abandoned, and it just went fast. Within minutes, it was engulfed. Whew. Lord of mercy. It's so hot. Oh my God. Back up some more. It's too hot. Oh Lord. Oh man. It's spreading. It's spreading fast. The window they had out, caught back on fire again. I mean, bad hot. I mean, it's bad.
Good Tuesday evening, folks. I'm John Webb, live in Uptown Kellogg, where crews have been battling a large fire all day long. We had reports. We responded, actually. KWAL went down to Silverton at the Old Sam Motel with reports of a fire in a semi-truck that was salvaged. I believe Nickerson Towing was actually... They were removing the AC unit off the front of that semi-trailer, and it caught on fire. The trailer is a total loss. It was being salvaged anyway, so it's not like there was much that was really lost. Anyways, though Shoshone County Fire District number 2 had 2 engines down there responding, and they got that put out completely. Then later, when things were starting to wrap up, they're mopping up. They headed down. They got a report of the Connel hotel that was on fire. As you can see, there's nothing left after that fire took place. The fire started, I can't remember what the fire chief said, but it started around mid-afternoon, and it actually later spread to those mountains you see over there, those hills over there, southwest of the building. It burnt a small acreage of wilderness. Nothing, it's not a threat to any community or local houses or businesses around in Uptown Kellogg. But anyways, after that spread, it actually started, wind started blowing a easterly north flow, and it actually blew an ember all the way over. I don't know if you could tell. It blew an ember all the way over to the, oh, it's not there, you can't really see it. Anyways, it blew an ember all the way over to the Patrick Steakhouse and caught that completely on fire. We got video coverage and photos that I'll put onto our Facebook page later this evening once we get them all organized and stuff, but that's a total loss too. After that, flames started kind of coming up to those buildings up there, you know, the Pizza Palace, barns and stuff. It started kind of catching on fire on their shingles up there, but no major fires. The crews had water spraying up there when we arrived and stuff, making sure none of the fires would spread. The front of that, you can see there's a big gap right there. That used to be one whole building, actually, of bricks, and the fire just totally knocked out the whole, oh, you can see a timber just fell down there. Anyways, the wall fell down and you left all those bricks there. I don't know if there was any damage to any of those businesses over there on the main street, but it's sure a mess to clean up for everyone responding. Later, towards the ending of fighting the fire, signs work in Kellogg and Uptown Kellogg also caught on fire. You can't really tell, but it was on top of the roof up there, and the crews got that out. I think that's a total loss also. Right now we don't have any other reports of fires around the area. Many local agencies responding to this fire. We had the Shoshone County Fire District number 2, Shoshone County Fire District number 1, Shoshone County Sheriff's Office, Osburn Police Department, Kellogg Police Department, the Volunteer Department over in Murray and Pritchard, also the Volunteer Department at Rose Lake. We had ambulances show up from the Shoshone EMS County, and we also had many other people show up for volunteer work, and it was truly a community effort. Right now you can see the ladder headed up there and make sure there's no other embers on top of that roof up there. Local businesses, hopefully not are in threat, but they're checking to make sure everything's out up there. So I talked to a few witnesses, and they say it was odd to see a fire in Smelterville, Kellogg, and also there was a fire in Osburn that I forgot to tell you about. It was at one of the residences there in Osburn, and it caught fire. And all 3 fires in Osburn, Kellogg, and Smelterville, caught fire. And people, you know, were wondering if there could have been foul play. But it's too early to assume. I talked to Sheriff Mike Gunderson. He said it's too early to assume any of that could have been foul play. It's just could have been a weirdly odd coincidence. So, other than that, we talked to the public officer with the U.S. Forest Service. I believe we just got done interviewing. I'll have a full package put up on our Facebook page later this evening after I edit a few things. But other than that, crews are planning to stick around throughout the evening tonight and mopping up the area, all of the areas that burned across the Silver Valley. Roads to Wardner, this Main Street, I think, Main Street is going to be blocked for quite some time as they clean up bricks and make sure no other walls collapse and cause safety hazard to many people in the area. I think there's other back streets you can take over east of Main Street that you can take up to get to Wardner. But other than that, crews will be out here throughout the night, battling, making sure no flames or no sparks damage any other buildings. So for now, reporting in Uptown Kellogg, John Webb, KWAL Radio News.
there's Dr. Bowman's place. It doesn't look like, I can't see past the trees, but it looks like it's okay. Mandy, I think it's okay. Probably got heat damage, but everything looks okay. It's a District 2, you know they're hot. I can't stay over here, it smells so bad, y'all. But looks like Dr. Bowman's place is okay. Hi, Jordan. I was yelling at Dylan. I didn't know if you heard me yelling at him, saying hi. I'm glad he's doing good. Woo! Everything's cooling off, though, but the firefighters sure are tired. You can tell. They're worn out. I just can't see for the trees, but that's where you see where the roof caved in at that house. Supposedly there was.
We're here in front of the McConnell Hotel, which about an hour ago caught fire and has since burned from the top level down to the bottom. We've got fire crews right here putting out the fire. Right next door, where you can just in the distance make out a fire ladder going up the side of the building. The Signworks building caught on fire on the top as well, so crews had to put that out. Down here on the other side of Division, near the post office, right across from the post office, Patrick's house is currently smoldering. The old wood shingles on top are smoldering, and crews, as you can just see, were spraying down the adjoining buildings to protect from falling embers. So as more happens, we will keep you updated, and anyone in Kellogg right now or in the valley should avoid the McKinley, Division, Main Street, and Portland area. It is incredibly dangerous and all blocked off right now. Just seconds ago, the front wall of the McConnell Hotel collapsed after burning for about an hour or so and then being sprayed down with multiple different fire hoses. As you can see there, bricks and everything line the road. And we're gonna watch to see here if the second piece of wall comes down while we watch, just a show of the damage that happened as the bricks all fell. This car was in the way, so it's gonna need a new back window. It got hit with just a small chip brick, but falling from right there did a lot of damage. So we're gonna keep an eye on this. As you can see here, crews are spinning the roof off of this adjoining building so that it doesn't catch fire from the hot embers that have just been falling all over this area. So just gonna keep an eye on this. Sorry. At this time, they don't have a cause or a idea what caused the fire. Like I said before, it looked to have started in the upper floors and then burned down. As photos that we took earlier showed, just watching it burn.
So again, my name is Shel Cruz. I'm acting as the public information officer for Shoshone District 2 and their structure fire today. My real job is with them on the land, and we do have some structure or wildland rigs up here helping out in the wildland site today, along with the U.S. Forest Service. So initial call came in at 14:59 in the McConnell Hotel and large brick building that you see behind us. 15:14, so 3:14, Patrick's. Initial roof was called in just east of here. So that'd be the secondary structure fire. Both of those have been pretty heavily damaged. Currently they're working on McKinley and this stretch of buildings over on our side right here. We do have some extension of fire in the back side of that building. The firefighters are working on that right now. And that's their high priority, making sure it doesn't extend further on downstream McKinley. Right now, represented district-wise, we have Shoshone District 2, which of course is their jurisdiction. Shoshone District 1 came down as a mutual aid request. Mullen Volunteer Fire Department, Richard Murray, St. Mary's Fire Department, and then also Kootenai County Fire and Rescue is here. So there's multiple agencies working.
Pretty tense situation because you got all this timber
It was windy when it first started.
We did have some wind in it. Yeah, that was. We had 4 brush trucks on scene again, mutual aid with U.S. Forest Service local and Idaho Department of Lands.
Other than just the wind, I mean, this is a compacted town too. Things are very close to one another. When you're dealing with a fire in these conditions, how tough is that?
Very tough.
Anybody hurt?
Yep, we do have 1 injury, 1 LE, first responder law enforcement, went in with some heat exhaustion, went to the hospital, and then 1 firefighter, unrelated injury, but some spurt came about on the lower leg from that. So,
What's the focus now?
focus now is definitely on McKinley side of things, working down these buildings, make sure nothing is passing on or through those. That's where the primary focus is. Kootenai County Fire and Rescue brought their ladder truck in. You'll see that in here shortly. Oh, right here behind us. That's going to be inserting people on the roofs a lot safer than the ladder, and start working through and making sure those buildings are not impacted.
What does it say that, you know, a building, 2 blocks away, 1 of the flames from this structure? I mean, that gives you an idea of the intensity of the conditions here today.
Absolutely. The intensity of the conditions, the wind-driven side of things, large embers, large chunks of debris were found around that, and then down further on the blocks associated with the east.
You guys must be exhausted. I mean, it was in Smelterville, right?
Absolutely. They had a few phone calls, Shoshone District 2 just before this with the tractor truck on fire, and then actually Osburn District 1 also had a call just before this structure fire up in that mountain.
Talking a little bit about losing, obviously, a historic piece of the history here in Kellogg. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. McConnell Hotel has been around a long time. I believe everything was sitting vacant, but again, as part of the downtown sites of everything, it's a shame to see that loss. Absolutely.
And this was a building that was 100 years old, right? At least.
Yeah, I'm not for sure on the age myself, but yeah, it's got to be up in the 100-year range.
Does that make it more difficult to fight the fact that probably there were materials in there that may not be used today, but 100 years ago they probably weren't thinking about fire suppression too much back then?
Correct. You know, the building components these days are definitely sure different than they were back then. And I'll be coming down. Perfect. Okay. That work? Thank you.
You have a quiet voice.
Sorry.
Well, everybody else got a vision before.
Yeah.
The Silver Valley has seen many fires in its century-plus existence, but not nearly as many fires in just one day, as many local residents witnessed on Tuesday. It all began at around 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon when Shoshone County Fire District No. 2 responded to a vehicle fire in the Sands Motel parking lot in Smelterville. According to Mark Ahmet, the District 2 Fire Chief, Nickerson Towing was cutting off a reefer unit on a salvaged semi-trailer when the fire ignited. Ahmet said, quote, "Crews responded to the fire quickly and extinguished it before any other infrastructure was damaged. No injuries were reported." While District 2 fire crews began the process of cleaning up, Shoshone County Fire District No. 1 responded to a house fire on Polaris Avenue in Osburn at around 3 p.m. According to Danny McGilvery, the co-owner of the house, Grant Brackenbush, a Silverton resident, was driving past the house when he noticed the porch was on fire. Brackenbush pulled over and grabbed the resident's garden hose and began spraying the area and called 911. Shoshone County Deputy Jared Belinsky and his wife, Cheyenne, the renters of the house, were in Coeur d'Alene when the house engulfed in flames. According to McGilvery, her husband, Kip, went into the house and grabbed the couple's dog. There were no injuries in this fire. According to the Osburn Police Department's Facebook page, an electrical issue seems to be the cause, but they're still investigating. Just several minutes later, another fire was reported at around 3 p.m. at the old historic McConnell Hotel on Main Street in Kellogg. The Shoshone County Fire District No. 2 responded to the scene first and began putting out the fire. With flames reaching nearly 1,000 feet, the District 2 Fire Chief realized that they were going to need multiple fire crews. According to Shell Truesdale, an acting spokesman for the Shoshone County Fire District No. 2 and fire warden with the Idaho Department of Lands, the District 2 firefighters were backed up with the Mullen Volunteer Fire Department, Pritchard and Murray Volunteer Fire Department, St. Mary's Fire Department, Shoshone County Fire District No. 1, the Idaho Department of Lands, the U.S. Forest Service, and the Kootenai Fire Department. 15 minutes later, a easterly wind flow began, causing embers to fly to the Patrick Steakhouse on South Division Street in Kellogg. Several other small fires ignited on the rooftops of the Salon 107, Papa's Barn, the Wells Fargo Bank, and Pizza Palace. An eighth of an acre also burned on a southwest hillside at least 100 feet from the McConnell Hotel. At about 3:45, the McConnell brick wall collapsed, damaging parts of the Papa Barn's window. Total damage of the Patrick Steakhouse have not yet been reported, nor the Signworks building.
I haven't been in there personally. I heard there was some interior inside roofing that needed to be pulled down, that there was a fire inside the roof side, and then it was isolated towards the back of the building.
Well, fortunately, their building was also vacant.
Right. We actually were in that building there that says Signworks on it, which is now looks pretty damaged. It doesn't look like the inside caught fire, but the roof definitely did. So we had moved from there several months ago down the street, and so we weren't affected by it, luckily. The ladies in the salon next door are all independent contractors, so I hope that they didn't suffer from it. That's my biggest worry, is for them, because they're young women.
15 minutes after 4, crews had the fires partially contained and began mopping up. Crews were in the area throughout Tuesday night and into Wednesday to make sure no other fire or hot spots would flare up. One local officer received heat exhaustion and a small burn on his hand. He was transported to the Social Medical Center and was later released. And several other firefighters received smoke inhalation and minor injuries, but fortunately no one else was injured during the multi-structure fire. A few witnesses I spoke to mentioned that it was kind of odd that there were several fires in the Silver Valley on the same day, but Truesdale says it was probably a rare coincidence.
Yeah, it's hard to say at this point in time. Probably totally unrelated, but things just happen. It seems like when it does, in the fire service side of things, multiple incidents happen at this time. So. The
cause of the McConnell Hotel fire is now under investigation. Ahmed says the owners of the hotel, Guy and Ellie Seaford, were not in the building at the time of the fire. Ahmed also said demolition is planned to begin soon. He said that the building is a threat to the area. Throughout everything, the Kellogg, Osburn, and Smelterville community pulled together and helped each other through what was one of the worst events in the Silver Valley's history. Cindy Wilbur, a wife of one of our very brave firefighters, purchased hamburgers and fries from the Tall Pine Cafe in Pinehurst for all the firefighters fighting this chaotic fire. And others did what they could by handing out bottled water and caring for local business owners in the midst of one of the worst multi-fires. I'm John Webb reporting above Kellogg Tonight.
Hey, this is Josh McDonald with the Shoshone News Press. We are here live at Main and McKinley, where crews are beginning the demolition of the McConnell Hotel that burned down earlier this week. We're just gonna sit back and watch as this historic piece of real estate basically just gets demolished. So bear with me and check it out. You can see crews spraying water in an effort to make sure that when the building comes down, that the amount of dust that goes up in the air is minimal. I have a feeling that's not going to be too helpful, because when it falls into that basement, you're going to have a lot of ash and dust go up in the air. That was the first brick to fall there. Kind of a sign of things to come. See here, they have a forklift propped up to hold parts of the wall up that they don't want going down yet. And I'm not sure if they have another backhoe on the south side of the building. We're on the north side right now. I'm not entirely sure what's going on the south side. It's almost impossible to get back there with the way they have the roads blocked off with all the crews they have. So we're just gonna sit and continue to watch. As you can see, the dust has already cleared out, which is mostly due to the fact that they are spraying down the walls before they bring them down here. Looks like they're gonna start pushing that wall in right over there. Just like that, most of this north wall in the front part of the building is gone. Crews will now be able to safely push in some of the lower remnants here, as just with the backhoe. There goes the front too. The front framework just fell, and that front framework held fairly strong through the fire. It's very impressive that those old iron beams right there, they didn't melt or warp or give in to the weight when that front wall came out. So Connel in its current state right now. Not sure where they're going to move to next. If they're going to go around and try to push down that south wall, we'll take a look and see where they take this hoe here. This morning, crews were here at about 7. They were pushing up all the brick that had fallen during the initial collapse of the front wall. They had pushed all of that up against the building, I think to act as a little bit of a buffer and to make sure that they had a pathway to get their backhoe through. You can see crews all over the place, and the way they're doing this is very controlled, very well thought out, trying to push everything essentially into the inside. And then I'm not sure if the fire marshal has already investigated the entire thing, but they will be able to go through some of the brick and maybe even salvage, some of that old iron framework. There used to be an elevator inside the McConnell Hotel. And you can see there the scorch marks on the inside of the wall, back where a lot of people assume the fire was, there on that back wall there. As of right now, it looks like everything's kind of at a halt. We'll just continue to watch and see what they do here. I have to imagine that they're getting ready to put down that south wall, though. As you can see, part of the south wall is already collapsed. That actually happened during the early stages of the fire. If you look at some of the photos that we have on the Shoshone News Press website, right from the early outset of the fire, we were taking pictures when it was still in the top 2 floors, and it was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. We taking pictures of that south wall, and then all of a sudden there was a massive explosion fireball, and all of a sudden that south wall, or the chunk of it that's missing already, was gone. It was kind of a surreal moment. So I think it'll be a little bit even more surreal here as this the rest of the south wall comes down. The driver is out of the hoe as of right now for the south wall. I'm not sure if they're gonna come in, and looks like they have a cherry picker there. Oh, and due to those power lines and the power pole, if you can see the power line that goes right behind the building there, long black line, power line directly on the south corner of the building. So they're gonna have to be a lot more delicate with how they do this. They're going to probably have to push it down in smaller sections, mainly due to the fact that there are those power lines and internet lines, all sorts of electronics that are running off of that pole there. And it looks to me like the back of the shirts that just got out of that truck do say Avista on them. So that would not surprise me if Avista was down here to supervise their lines. It took them about an hour from the time that they got all of their equipment in place to actually start pulling down the north wall. I'm not really wanting to stand here for an hour while they set up, but we will continue to watch. Quite the little crowd is gathered down here. Behind me you can see some cars have pulled up. Some people kind of just watching it happen. Sheriff Mike Gunderson, Kellogg Police Chief Dave Woolley. Mayor Mac Pooler is down here somewhere. I think he was a little surprised they were able to get equipment past his truck. So I think he went over there to make sure that no one had ran his truck over. See the looks like the Avista guys are going up. I'm not entirely sure what their plan is. Possibly disconnect the wires. Keep an eye on what they're doing. In the meantime, you can see here, a little bobcat has begun pushing the debris from that north wall back up against the remaining section of the north wall. And it looks to me like the crews are working on the power pole to make sure that nothing important gets ripped out. Sorry for the shaky there. I'm assuming that they're going to try to make sure those lines are safe and secure. And I'm seeing a lot of comments on here about bricks. From what I've been told, the bricks will be scooped up by Zanetti's. And so any of you guys looking to snag a brick out of this whole ordeal, I believe Zanetti's might be the one to talk to. At least that's what the word on the street down here is. I have yet to hear what the plan is for the Patrick's Inn and Steakhouse building that was also damaged in the fire. I haven't heard if they're planning on demolishing that or taking the top layer off. I know from what I've gathered, that building is not a direct safety threat like this building was. That's why it was such a rush to get this building down. Some of the fire marshals and building inspectors that have been around here, though, are pretty surprised at how, despite how horrible that fire was the other day and how hot it got, that a lot of these bricks, which usually have a tendency to, you know, kind of expand with the heat, they didn't expand as much as you'd think. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the corners where the walls met up were actually fairly sturdy still. Even the ones that appeared to be leaning because the rest of the wall had fallen, they were actually still pretty sturdy. So just a testament to the craftsmanship that there was back in 1912 when this building was originally constructed. It looks like the power line crews are back down. I don't know if that means that we're going to see the backhoe get back in there and start to push down that south wall. Obviously, it's going to take some skill on his part to ensure that none of that pole comes down. The way all the crews have moved over to this side, though, it seems to me like they're definitely getting ready to push that wall down. Everyone seems to be clearing out, so I do think we are definitely getting close for them knocking down that south wall. The water truck hoses are coming out, and they're going to begin spraying that down as well. So we are close. And the backhoe operator is getting into the machine, so we're awfully close to demolition time here. I might actually take a step back for this one. They're going to be pushing this wall into the existing basement of the building. I don't know if I really like the idea of them pushing a wall, about a, I don't know, 50, 60 foot wall over where I'm standing only about 100 feet away. So I might step back depending on how they try to do this. To be completely honest with you, given the magnitude of the event and how much coverage this fire got, I'm surprised that looks like I'm the only news crew down here. So what you're getting right now is Shoshone News Press exclusive, which makes me feel pretty good. As you mostly know, we are also a print edition, so I am going to try and take some pictures with my camera while this happens. So I apologize if the video gets a little wobbly or if it goes out of focus. I'm going to try to snap some pictures. From what it looks like they're going to push right on that corner, similar to what they did with the north side, and hope that by pushing on that corner that everything falls into the pit for the last couple of days, that pit has essentially been just a giant hole full of smoldering old timber from the inside of the McConnell. In an interview with the owner yesterday, she was able to explain to me that the inside of the building didn't have any walls at that point because of the remodel that was going on, but instead was just floors, open floors with studs. So when that fire caught, it was allowed to move pretty freely throughout the building, which would explain why it spread so quickly and was so devastating. They weren't able to control it or keep it isolated to just the top or the fourth or third floor. Looks like there it goes. And that was the southeast corner of the building there that just fell. As you can see, there is another miniature backhoe. Well, not miniature, just much smaller than the one that they're using to push it down on that other side. Looks like it's going to finish the job over here on the south side. Unfortunately, this is as close as I can get, so we are going to be right here for the time being.
That's going to be interesting.
Still no word on how they plan to deal with this back structure here. The inside of it was completely gutted by fire as well. That was one of the places where the fire did have obstacles to get through, and it's still quite frankly amazing the magnitude and quickness of that fire. It broke out just before just before 3, and was essentially a simmering heap in less than an hour and a half. So I have no idea if they're going to, because none of the back walls collapsed except for the ceiling. So I'm not sure how they plan to attack that. And with all the businesses that are back there, I have to imagine what they're going to do is go in through the south side and try to pull the wall in. Looks like there goes another piece of the south wall. Just like that, a majority of the south wall is gone, save for that back section over there. And if this is any indication, I believe the south wall, the main south wall of the main front building is completely gone now. Well, the Shoshone News Press is going to continue to monitor this on it, and if we find out when they plan on taking down that back building, we will do everything in our power to get here to document the entire event. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like before, this is Josh McDonald with the Shoshone News Press.
Remembered each flash as time began to burn. and your voice was all I heard. That I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth of lies across this new divide.
The best, the best, the best, the best.
I remember black skies lying all around me. I remember each flash as time began to burn, like a startling sign that fate had finally found me. And your voice was all I heard. That I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth of lies across this new divide. I remember black skies lying all around me. I remembered each flash as time began to burn, like a startling sign that fate had finally found me. And your voice was all I heard. That I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth of lies across this new divide.
The best, the best, the best, the best.
In every loss, in every lie, in every truth that you deny, and each regret, and each goodbye was a mistake too great to hide. And your voice was all I